Welcome to the Paoli High School Auditorium. This video discusses use of the iPad to run sound. We use the iPad to be able to create sound, balance sound, and run it from the stage, from the seats in the auditorium. You don't have to come all the way up to the control room to do all of that. The iPad lives in the band office, so find it from there and return it to there when done using it. Thank you to Dylan, our technician. He is going to show us how to turn on the iPad, connect it to our sound system, and operate it.
Okay, so first thing you'll want to do is make sure that your system and your soundboard is powered on, which it is. I'm going to then want to open up the application, which is Yamaha LS9 Stage Mix. What I should see is Auditorium LS932, which is the type of mixer that we have in the auditorium. I'm next going to connect to it, and what should happen if I'm on the correct network, I should connect and synchronize with the LS9. I've got a connection error. Connection failed, check Wi-Fi status. So this is going to be really the biggest problem if you ever can't get the app to connect to the board. This is generally going to be your issue 99% of the time. I'm going to go into the settings on my iPad, and I want to be connected to the Paoli sound system. If I'm not connected on the proper Wi-Fi network, I won't be able to communicate with the soundboard. Now that I'm on Paoli sound system, I'm going to then go back to the Yamaha Stage Mix, try to connect to the Auditorium LS9 again, and what I should now see is syncing with LS9. And then once I've fully synced up, I should now have a page open where I have access to all of my channel faders and all my EQ information and everything else that I need to get from on the board. So for this instance, I'm going to show you how to set level from the iPad. We're going to be using microphone 2. So on the iPad, you'll see I have multiple banks of 8. We've got 32 faders, so on the first bank, we're looking at channels 1 through 8, and we also see our labels down here at the bottom. The next bank is 9 through 16, next one 17 through 32, and then finally 17 through 24, and then finally 25 through 32. I'm going to select 1 through 8. As you can see, think of the iPad as a remote control. So whenever I run the iPad up and down, if you look at the mixer, the fader I'm bringing up and down is also moving up and down directly onto the soundboard. So I'm going to set microphone wireless 2. I'm going to turn my wireless microphone on. I'm going to start with the level a bit low so that I'm not too loud to feedback, and I'm going to slowly bring it up until I have enough level into my mains that I'm happy and I have enough signal. On the iPad, you also have options on the right side to look at the master fader section, which again is the right fader, the very most right fader on the board, and you'll be able to look at your monitor mix outputs, and you'll be able to look at your overall master stereo left and right output. If I wanted to send anything to monitors, there's a button called Sends on Faders. What I'll want to do, select the area that I'm going to be working with. I am personally going to send wireless microphone 2, and I'm going to send it to aux mix 1 or monitor A. So when I'm on Sends on Faders mode, I'm going to say that I want to use mix 1. I'm going to then send my signal from channel number 2 up to mix 1, and now I will be feeding the monitors directly from the board. Again, you can see on the board that I am actually making a change with the iPad, because when you look at the board, the fader is moving up and down. So you can then mix from the board using the iPad anywhere in the room. The router for the iPad is located right on the windowsill. It's got the network name and the password. This should never be removed and should only power on and off with the system.
How about the CD player or any other auxiliary things? Where would you find those on the iPad?
If I wanted to control volume from the CD player, I'm going to check back out of Sins on Faders mode because I want to go back to mixing into the mains for the left and right. And as you can see, our CD player is channel 29. So I want to go into the bank 25 through 32 where I can locate my CD, which is channel 29. I can now bring the fader up and down directly into the mains. And you can see as I bring it up from the iPad, I'll bring it up and down onto the board. The same goes if I want to mix in a little bit of iPod and a CD. I can bring all these up directly from the iPad.